Hey Fragrance family, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at a classic from the house of Azzaro, and this is one of their staples, and this is Azzaro Pour Homme. Launched in 1978. It's classified as an aromatic fougere, and so this is a barber shop style fragrance. It's got that soapy quality to it, a little bit of that Barber shaving foam feel, but there's a lot of other things going on that makes this a whole lot more interesting than even something that I like Stetson or Old Spice or Brut. There's a classiness about this. Now I will say that it does kind of have, like Brut, a little bit of a note that comes across for just a few moments like pickle juice. And I know that's not anything that you would want to use to describe a fragrance, but Brut to me in the opening has a little bit of a pickle juice vibe, and so does Azzaro, but it fades quickly. I'm not sure what it's from. It's got to be a combination of probably the maybe the herbs and the citruses. But there's a lot of notes here. Of course, in a fougere, you're going to get lavender. This has a star anise like L'Instant de Guerlain Lidge that we previously looked at. Caraway, basil, bergamot, clary sage, and iris. Middle notes: vetiver, sandalwood, patchouli, cedar, juniper berries, and cardamom. Base notes are oak moss, leather, amber, musk, and tonka beans. So a lot of notes. You've got base notes in the mid, classical base notes like vetiver, sandalwood, patchouli, cedar that are kind of in the mid. And this thing dries down. The soapiness never really goes away. There's a slight powdery nature to it. Don't let that bother you. I'm not a big fan of very powdery fragrances, but the powder is just kind of in the background. It has a good leather, like a supple leather to it, not a raw kind of rough leather, but a real nice supple ambery. That the amber and the musk and the tonka really does provide a nice, smooth, semi-sweet base to it. The oak moss is there. Again, it smells like a classic men's fragrance, but it still smells modern enough to wear in 2022. This fragrance reminds me of my dad. My dad is probably the reason why I got into perfumery. He was a door-to-door perfume salesman when I was a little boy. And I got into fragrance kind of as a way to kind of reconnect with my dad, who went on to be with the Lord several years ago, over 10 years ago now. And this is one that he had, and it reminds me of him, but I still wear it. It's just a real good, this is one I'll tend to put on when I'm going out to kind of work in the yard or do something like that, something out in nature, kind of remind me of him. But anyways, it's a great one. You know it, I'm sure. If you haven't ever smelled it, you ought to get you a bottle. You can pick up a small bottle. This is a 1.7 ounce. I think you can get this for probably $25 or less. So check it out. Like and subscribe. Help us grow the smallest fragrance review channel on YouTube. Till we see you next time, frag on, frag fam.